Am I audible, students?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Hello? CSE में हो या AI में? तो तुम्हें पता नहीं है तुम्हारा सब्जेक्ट क्या है? मतलब रूटीन सिलेबस नहीं चेक किया? Screen visible, guys?
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine. So today we will be learning about cyclomatic complexity. Okay. So why do we use cyclomatic complexity and what is cyclomatic complexity? First, you need to understand. Okay. So basically, there was a person named McCabe. Okay. McCabe proposed the concept of cyclomatic complexity. So cyclomatic complexity is basically a metric which is actually representing an important result that lets us compute the number of linearly independent paths for any arbitrary program. So in cyclomatic complexity, you will be given a program, any pseudocode you will be given, or some flow graph you will be provided, and from that flow graph you need to calculate the cyclomatic complexity of a particular uh, code. Okay. So basically, MakeCap cyclomatic complexity is very simple to compute, though the MakeCap matrix does not directly identify the linearly independent paths, but it provides us with a practical way of determining approximately how many paths to look for. So using cyclomatic complexity, we can calculate the set of independent paths through a graph diagram, and we can calculate yes, and also we can calculate the edges and number of nodes or vertices in a graph. So MakeCap cyclomatic complexity defines an upper bound on the number of independent paths in a program. So three different ways to compute the cyclomatic complexity for structured programs. The results computed by all the three methods are guaranteed to agree. So these are the three formulas. Mathematically, it is a set of independent paths through the graph diagram. So the code complexity of the program can be defined as this. See, you can calculate the cyclomatic complexity by computing this formula, that is Vg equals to E minus n plus 2. Okay, this formula is similar. You have learned graph theory. So in graph theory, there is a formula, Euler's formula, remember? So Euler's formula and this formula is similar. If you see, Euler's formula is same, that is E minus n plus 2. Just a second, students. I'm facing some difficulty with my laptop. Just a second, students. This, okay. So E Vg equals to, sorry, Vg equals to E minus n plus 2. This is also the Euler's formula in case of graph theory, where E is the number of edges, n is the number of nodes, and plus 2. Okay, so this is one formula to find the cyclomatic complexity of a given graph, and another formula is Vg equals to P plus 1. Okay, P is the number of predicate nodes. So Vg equals to, see here, another formula is Vg equals to P plus 1. Okay, and where Vg is the total number of region. How to calculate the region, how to calculate the number of edges, how to calculate the number of nodes, we will be discussing. So see here, Vg, there are two formulas to find out the total number of region. Okay, first one is E minus n plus 2 and the next one is P plus 1. These are two different formulas. Based on the criteria, you need to use the formula. You need to use these formulas. If you are given like like in the, if you are given a graph and you need to calculate the number of region, and in that graph you are provided with edges and nodes, then you will be using this formula, that is E minus n plus 2. And if you are given any some predicate nodes, then you would need to calculate using this formula, that is P plus 1. Now you might be wondering what is predicate nodes. Okay, so let's just see with examples. So first thing is how to make a flow graph. Before few classes I have discussed how to make flow graph from a given code. Also in the first year while doing C programming, you have done like you have done flow chart. If given a particular code, you can draw a flow chart of that particular code. So you already know this. So I have given you some more tricks to identify how to make a flow chart. If you are given a code. Okay, so see here, in this case you are given a code, that is I equals to 0, n equals to 4, while I less than n minus 1, do j equals to I plus 1, while j less than n, do if ai less than aj, then swap ai comma aj, end do I plus 1, and end do. So see here, this is the code and this is the corresponding flow graph. So nothing new to this concept. You already, I have discussed also, and you already know this thing, how to convert a pseudocode to a flow graph. Okay, so see here, that's why I have written like this. So see, while, so the code is like code is this and the corresponding flow graph is this. So see here, I have given while I less than n minus 1. Okay, so if this condition is true, then it will enter the loop. Okay, so that's why, if that's why I have put this condition in the node number 1. Okay, these are the nodes and these are the edges of a graph, and these are the regions. Okay, these are the regions. First understand how we are doing these nodes and how the flow is going on in this code. So see here, it is given while I less than n minus 1. So here this is the condition. So that's why we have put the condition in the node number 1. After that, if only the condition is true, we will be entering the loop. So see here, if the condition is true, we will enter the loop. So see, that's why from one node it is flowing to the node number 2, because if this condition is true, then only it will move to this next, execute the next statement, and after that it will execute the next to next statement. That is, only if this while I less than minus I less than my n minus 1 is true, then it will enter the loop, that is j equals to I plus 1, and after that it will execute this again while statement, that is I while j less than n. Okay, so this is another condition. So that's why we are putting it into the node number 2. Okay, so see here, first condition, first while loop we are representing. So that's why we are putting it in the node number 1, and second condition we are putting it node number 2. Okay, so if the condition 1 is true, then only it is allowed to enter the loop and allowed to execute the statement number 2. Okay, so next, see in the next line, it is given if ai less than aj, ai less than aj, that means here is another condition, that is if ai value is less than aj, then only this swap swapping of these numbers will be done. Okay, so see here, so another condition, so that's why we will be putting this condition in node number 3. So see here, this is the node number 3. So now if you see the flow, see if one condition is true, then only we are executing the two condition, and if two condition is true, then only we will be executing the condition number 3. Okay, so in this way the control flow is going on. Okay, next see what it is given. It is given like swap AI AJ. Okay, that means this is an operation. This is an operation. Sorry, this is a function call. Okay, so see here, that's why we are denoting this function call in node number 4. Okay, so this is the node number 4. Now, if this condition is done, then we are ending the loop. So that's why end do. So we are putting it in the node number 5. So this will continuously this loop will continue as long as the condition is true. So in this way, see, it is working. So if this condition is true, see here, if this three number means what? If AI less than AJ, this condition is true, then only it will execute this 4 statement, and after that it will move to the 5 statement. Or otherwise, if this 3 condition is not true, then it will directly move to the condition number 5. So in this way it is working. Now see, next is end do. End do means we are putting it in the node number 6. Now see, if this condition, this loop, this inner while loop is true, then only this statements will be executed. Okay, that means this 3 4 5 loop will continue. Now if this condition is not true, then it will directly move to this end statement. So see here, if this two nodes condition is true, then only it is executing this 3 4 5 nodes. And if it is not true, then it will directly move to the end do portion. Okay, so that's why if condition is true, then it is moving here, and if it is false, then it is directly moving to the 6 number node. Okay, after that, see, if again after doing this, it will again check the first condition, that is while I less than n. Okay, so in this way, here I value is incrementing, so that's why I again it will get incremented and it will again check. So see here, that's why from 6 we are moving to the node number 1. And if all these conditions are not true, then it will move to the 7 number node. So in this way we are drawing the flow graph. Okay, now this is the preliminary part, that is drawing the flow graph, and I have already explained how to draw flow graph. Now the main motive of cyclomatic complexity is to find out the number of regions in a given graph. Okay, so if you see how many number of nodes are there here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 7 nodes are there in this graph. Okay, in this flow graph 7 nodes are there. And how many edges are there? So that means here this is 1 to 2, this is edge number 1, 2 to 3 edge number 2, 3 to 4 edge number 3, 4 to 5 edge number 4, 5, then 3 to 5 edge number 5, then 2 to 6 edge number 7, 5 to 2 edge number 8, then 6 to 1 edge number 9, and this 1 to 7 edge number 10. Okay, so sorry, this will be 9 edges, 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 3 to 5. So 1 2 3 4 5, 5 edges, 2 to 5, 2 to 6, 6 edges, 5 to 2 7, then 6 to 1 8. Okay, 9, yes, 1 to 7. So 9 edges are there. So see here, so if you find out the cyclomatic complexity of this, or if you find out the number of regions in this graph, so that means, see here, VG equals to E. Total number of edges we have calculated, it is 9. So 9 number of edges is there, are there. Now N. N is the number of nodes. So we have seen that there are 7 nodes. So 7 is that's why we are putting 7 here and plus 2. So see here, if you calculate it, you will be getting 4. This is formula number 1. If you are given edges and graphs and edges and nodes. Now if you are given not like that, or if you are given predicate nodes, then how you will calculate? So in your exam, in your question, they may ask that calculate the number of regions of a given graph where predicate nodes are 3. Okay, so if you are given predicate nodes, you just need to add 1 with that node and you need to find out the result, that is p plus 1, that is 3 plus 1. Now in this question, how to find out the number of predicate nodes. Predicate nodes, okay, see here, what is predicate nodes? Predicate node means those nodes who are having more than one outgoing link. Those nodes who are having more than one outgoing link. So see here, outgoing link, that means, see here in this, if you see this one number vertex or this one number node, if you see, okay, here see outgoing node edges are, how many outgoing edges are present? See, 1 to 2 it is one outgoing edges, and 1 to 7 another outgoing edges. See, it is having, it is connected with 3 edges, but among these 3 edges only 2 edges are outgoing, whereas this third one is the incoming edge. That means from 6 to 1 it is incoming edge, but from 1 it is, see, outgoing edges, that is 1 to 2 and 1 to 7. So here the total number of outgoing edges are 2. So whenever, if any node, if you see that total number of outgoing edges are more than 1, then you can consider it as a predicate node. Okay, okay, so see here, basically condition checking, whenever we check any condition, that means, see here, whenever we check any condition, so it may have two parts, that is either the condition, if it is true then it will execute the rest of the statements which are coming under true part, and the, if it is false, then it will move to the end or something like that part. Okay, so see here, that's why whenever you are doing any condition checking, that means it is having two, it is having two outgoing edges. So that's why in general, if you are given a, if you are given any code, if you see that there is a condition, from that you can easily identify that this is my predicate node, because in any condition checking there are two parts, that is one is true part, another one is false part, and both the two parts are actually outgoing edges, and predicate nodes are basically denoting more than one outgoing edges. So see, in one condition, if you see, one is, this one node is one condition, that is a while loop. Okay, this two number node is another condition, that is another while loop, and three number is another condition, that is if statement. So all these three are conditional statements. So that's why we are seeing, see here, one is having two outgoing edges. Okay, two is also having two outgoing edges, one for true and another for false, and three is also having two outgoing edges, that is one for true and another one is false. So that's why in this given graph, number of predicate nodes is 3, that is 1, 2 and 3. So total number of predicate nodes is 3, and if you are adding with 1, then we are getting 4. So that's why, if whether you are calculating with this formula or this formula, the result is same, but you need to remember that according to the situation you need to apply the formula. If you are given number of predicate nodes in your exam, so you can calculate, you can use this formula and calculate the number of regions, and if you are given edges and number of nodes, then you can calculate the number of regions using this formula. So based on the situation you need to apply these formulas. Am I clear, students? Am I clear?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay, so see, in this way you can calculate, just a second. Okay, ল্যাপটপটা আজকে প্রচন্ড স্লো কাজ করছে, try to cooperate, students. So next is, so in this way you can calculate the number of actually the number of regions. Okay, so number of regions, if you see how many number of regions are there, so this yellow marked portion is one region. Okay, this that is 3, 4, 5, this is one region. Okay, next is 2, 3, 5, this is another region. Okay, next, if you see this violet portion, that is 2, 6, 1, this is another region, and the outer, there is one outer region which is enclosing all the rest. So total number of regions in this graph is also 4. So you can match whether this answer is coming correct using this formula or not. By viewing this graph you can see that, you can understand that this is one region, this is another region, this part, this is another one, and the rest is the outer part. You need to consider the outer region also. So total number of regions is this 4. Okay, by viewing also you can understand, or by applying this formula. Suppose you are not given any graph, okay, then as this graph is given, that's why it is easier for you to see this graph and understand that there are 4 regions. But if you are not given any graph and you need to calculate using, they have instead of giving a graph, they have given the values of, suppose they have given number of predicate nodes is 3, or they have given e is 2 and n is 1. You need to calculate the total number of regions. So in this way you can calculate the total number of regions using these two formulas. And also, if you are given any pseudo code, okay, instead of giving any values or any graph, if they have provided you a pseudo graph, then how you will do? See, just instead of writing so many things, if you are given so small amount of time, what you will do? You will check the conditions first. You see that there is a while statement, okay. So whenever there is a while loop, that means in case of any conditional statements, you know that there is two parts, either true and false. Okay, so that means it is having two more than one outgoing edge. So that's why in case of any conditional statements, you will be considering it as one predicate node. So see here, if you, instead of doing so many things, if you are given this pseudo code, okay, you can calculate the number of predicate nodes by seeing this code. That is here, see, I equals to 0, so no chance, n equals to 4, no chance, these are initialization parts. But here, see, there is a condition checking part, that is while I less than n minus 1. Just a second. While I less than n minus 1. So this is one condition. Next condition is I, so while j less than n. So this is another one condition. That means two predicate nodes are there. And the third one is if if ai less than aj. So this is another condition. So three conditional statements are there. So that's why we will be taking three predicate nodes plus 1. So in this way you can do in shortcut method to find the number of regions. So next one is how many set of possible execution path are there in this program. So for that you need to, if in exam, if they give this kind of question, find the set of possible execution path, then you need to draw the graph. There is no other choice. Okay. So first see how many paths are there. That is one, you can calculate the path from starting node to the ending node. Okay, so see here, one path, this is the starting node, that is node number 1, and ending node is node number 7. So if you find out the first path, that is 1 to 7, that is starting and ending node connecting one path. So this is one path. Okay, next path you can see 1 to 2. You need to calculate, you need to take those edges which are in the same order. That means, suppose if you are going like this, okay, this one, just a second students. Oh, one, okay, this is one arrow, this is another arrow, this is another arrow. Okay, so it is, see, the flow is like this. So you can consider this one. But if you are given like this is one arrow, this is another arrow, but here the arrow is in the opposite direction. That means here the path is up to this, but it is not flowing here because this arrow is not in the same direction with the rest of the arrow. So that's why you cannot take it. So see here, next path is 1 to 2, then 2 to 6. Okay, this is another path, then 6 to again 1, and then 7. So this is one path, 1 to 6, 7, 6, 1, 7. This is this second number path. Next path, if you see, next one is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 2. Okay, 5 to 2, then 5 to 2, and then 2 to 6. Okay, 2 to 6, this one, then sorry, 2 to 6, then 6 to 1, then 1 to 7. This is another path. So see here, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 2, then 2 to 6, then 6 to 1, then 6 to 1 to 7. This is another path. And the next path is 1 to 2. Okay, 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 5. Okay, this in this path. 3 to 5, then 5 to 2, then 6 to 1. Sorry, then 5 to 2, then 2 to 6, then 6 to 1, then 1 to 7. So the path is flowing like this. So this many number of possible paths are possible in this graph. Okay. Now question may come, total number of, find out the total number of possible paths in this graph. So you need to calculate like this. Now, or if they ask that find the total number of which one is the largest path. Okay, which one is the largest path in this given graph, they may also ask this question. So if you see there are 4 possible paths, among this which one is the largest path? Students, tell me which one is the largest path. Say, students, by viewing this you can understand which one is the largest path. So see here, this path number 3 is the largest one because see, it is containing more number of vertices. So see here, 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4, then 4 to 5, then 5 to 2, then 6 to 5 to 2, then 2 to 6, then 1 to 7, then 6 to 1, and then 1 to 7. This many number of paths are there. So this is the largest path. So see here, this is one example. So in this example, you have been given the number of paths, or you have been given the graph, and first you need to calculate the number of regions in the flow graph. How many number of regions are there in the flow graph? By seeing these, students, tell me which one will be the correct option. Very easy question. Do it.
Madam, 2.
2. How can you find 2? How many regions can you see? This is one region, right? By viewing this graph,
Madam,
you can
6, 7, 8, 9.
6,
And
7.
2,
No,
2,
6,
3.
7, 8, 9 is not in the same direction. See, it is not in the, these arrows are different. This is in the same direction, whereas this is in the different direction. To form a cycle, you need to calculate, you need to do like this. Okay, but here it is doing like this, and it is, the next part is doing like this. See the arrows. You, by weaving the arrows, you can understand. See, sorry, it is like this. So it is not forming one cycle. See. Okay.
Ma'am, 4.
How many can you tell me the regions? How
Yes, ma'am.
tell me?
Ma'am, 1, 2, 2 and 3, then 4 and 5, then 10, then again 1, and then 11. One region.
Okay.
Then 1, 2, 2 and 3, then 6, then 7, then 9, then 10, then again 1, then
Very good,
11.
very good, very good. Very
Then
good.
1, 2, 2 and 3, then 6, then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11, then
Then
1,
1.
then 11.
Very good, very good.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
next one is the outer region. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
So by viewing this, you can do it. And if anyone gets confused, you can apply the formula, that is number of nodes, sorry, number of predicate nodes plus 1. So if you see here, how many predicate nodes are there? This is the simple way. See, two outgoing arrows are there. So that means this 2, 3, this node is one predicate node. Okay. Another one predicate node is what? This 6. Okay. See here also more than one outgoing arrow is present. So see, 6 is one another predicate node, and the third one is 1. This 1 is another predicate node. See, this one and this one, more than one outgoing arrow is present. So total number of predicate nodes is what here? Total number of predicate nodes is 3. Okay. Just total number of predicate nodes is 3, and you know that the formula is 3 plus 1. Number of regions is 4. So this is one region, this is one region, this is one region, and the another one is the outer region. Okay. Next, see, find out how many nodes are there in the longest independent path. That means you need to find out the longest independent path, just the way I have done here. Here, the longest path is this, okay, this third number. So how many nodes are there in this third number? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 nodes are there in this longest path. So same way you need to find out in this graph how many independent nodes are there. Okay, longest independent path first you need to calculate, and after that, from that you need to find out the number of nodes. So do it.
Ma'am, 9.
9. How can you do it? 9.
Ma'am, 2 and 3 are
Single
same
node.
or
Single
different?
node. Single node.
Single node. Okay,
Yes.
ma'am. Then
See,
it is
where
8.
yes, very good. See, one thing, if you are given like this, okay, that means in a circle, if you are given not only 2, 3, if you are given 5 numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then also you will be considering it as a single node. You are not interested in the numbers, you are interested in the circles, okay. You will be calculating only the circles. So see here, this is one circle. If it is named as 2, 3, then also it is one circle. Here also this is one circle. That's why I have asked this question. Okay. So see here. Now let's just see. So yes, it is the correct answer. That is 8 is the correct one. So if you see, this is, see, number of possible independent paths. So first, we need to calculate from the starting vertex to the ending vertex. So this is one path, 1 to 11. Okay. Next path is what? 1 to 2, then 2 to 4, 5, then 5 to, sorry, 4, 5 to 10, then 10 to 1, and then 1 to 11. This is one path. Another path, see, you need to find, if you are finding all the possible paths, next path is what? 1 to 2, then 2 to 6, then 6 to 7, then 7 to 9, then 9 to 10, then 10 to 1, then 1 to 11. This is another path. Now another one is 1 to 2, then 1 to 2, 3, then 2, 3 to 6, then 6 to 8, then 8 to 9, then 9 to 10, then 10 to 1, then 1 to 11. This is another path. So see here, these two paths are of equal length. So from this you can find out that number of nodes is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 1, 11. So here see, 1 is coming 2 times. Okay. We are taking 1 2 times. If it is coming 2 times, then also you need to calculate the total number of nodes as you need to make it count. Okay. So see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total number of nodes in the longest independent path of this graph is 8. So similarly, if you see this one also same, 1, 2, 3, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total number of nodes is 8. Okay. Now see, next question is how many nodes are there? Sorry, how many predicate nodes are there and what are their names? This is very easy. I have already explained in the question number 1. So tell me which one is the correct. How many predicate nodes? First find out how many predicate nodes are there and then tell me which one are the
Ma'am,
predicate
first
nodes.
option 3, 3. Madam,
First
3.
3. Okay, 3. Okay. Okay, first option means this one you are telling. There are 2, 3 options.
Yes, madam.
3. Yes, 3 predicate
1,
nodes
2.
are there.
Yes, madam.
Yes, that means more than one outgoing link. That is 1. That is, see here, it is 2, 3 and 6. So this is the one. That is 3 and the nodes are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Okay, very good. So tell me this one. What is the cyclomatic complexity of the flow graph? Did you understand all the concepts? So cyclomatic complexity is used to find out the number of regions in a graph. Okay, so the formula to find out the number of regions in a graph is equal to the formula with cyclomatic complexity. So tell me which one will be what will be the cyclomatic complexity? Conceptual level data I told you about the different entities, relationship.
Madam,
This
4.
is very, yes, very good. Same thing, same formula. Actually, using cyclomatic complexity, we are finding out the number of regions in a given graph. So you can find the cyclomatic complexity using this formula also, that is Vg equal to E minus N plus 2 and Vg equals to P plus 1, and also you can find out the number of regions using this formula. So both are same. So don't get confused. Examiner may ask this kind of questions to confuse you, but don't get confused. Both are same. So that is 4, and we have calculated it in the first question. We have find it out that how many number of regions are there, that is 4, and again it is asking that what is the cyclomatic complexity, just to confuse the students. So don't get confused, it is 4. And last question, tell me how many number of nodes are there in the flow graph. So how many total number of nodes are there?
9.
Very good. So total number of nodes are 9. So I hope cyclomatic complexity concept is clear to you. We will do some more examples of cyclomatic complexity. So is this example clear to all of you? Because this is a very important concept, guys, and in exam you may be getting this kind of questions. Whether you are giving online exam or offline exam, they will be asking, they may give you a pseudocode, and from that pseudocode they may ask you to find out the number of predicate nodes and number of regions, or they may give a graph like this and they will be asking you the questions like this based on the graph. So is it clear to everyone, students?
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine. So in the next class, we'll be discussing some more concepts of cyclomatic complexity. So just revise these concepts, learn, try to understand, and we will do some more examples in the next class. So as of now, let me download the attendance list. In computer research, in which department you are, from that list. Just a second, guys. My laptop is. The student is having student roll number, the student semester, whether they are some examination or not, whether I should move to the next semester or not. Okay, these are the attributes. Clear? Everything is clear? Okay. So, okay, fine, students. Now, we will again meet. That is tomorrow. We are having our class, so we will again meet tomorrow, and we will discuss this. Sorry, Wednesday we are having our class on software engineering, and we will do some more concepts of software engineering like this. So, okay, students, thank you. Now you can leave.
Thank you, madam.
Just reading points. Optimize those relations using model. You need a normalization. Normalization. तो है कुछ